the driving range. Today, I'm going to learn how to hit a stinger based on Tiger Woods' advice, his own advice, how he hits them. There's a new video out of Tiger explaining how he hits his stingers, what he's thinking, what he's doing at address, what swing thoughts he has. I took some notes, I wrote them down, bringing them to the range. I'm just gonna go through them one by one, step by step, see if I can hit a stinger just like Tiger does. I've got my Frank the Tiger hat. It's very sweaty and gross, but maybe it'll help. All right, let's get to it. All right, I just warmed up some wedges, some 7-irons, and some normal 3-irons. Felt pretty good, feel loose. So now I'm gonna start going through Tiger's notes. He hits a stinger off of a bunch of clubs: driver, 3-wood, 3-iron, and 4-iron.
Here we are with my 3-iron stinger. It's a shot I'll play quite often just to get the ball in play, whether it's a 3-iron, 4-iron, or it's a 5-wood, 3-wood, even sometimes a driver. It's the same kind of shot.
Today I'm just gonna be using a 3-iron since I think it's probably a good place to start, and then you can move up to a wood or a driver later. I'll show you, I'll just hit a couple normal 3-irons, and you can see what that looks like right here, just to see what a normal flight path of my 3-iron looks like. Step 1, he says to move the ball, put it a ball and a half back in your stance.
I like playing it a little further back in my stance, maybe a ball and a half back in my stance.
I'm just gonna start with that and get comfortable with the ball back in my stance. Usually it's up near my left foot, so this is it's gonna feel a little weird. In the video, he said that the further back the ball is, that the more you'll draw it. So I'll see what that feels like. All right, those felt pretty good, actually, and that's pretty much when I would hit stingers before listening to Tiger's advice. This is pretty much how I would hit stingers, is I would just put it in the back of my stance and really try to hit down on it and take the loft off. It's a bit of a weird feeling looking down at your feet. You're standing right over it. It's immediately there, and you really just gotta, you're swinging straight into it. Now for his next piece of advice. So he says that you want to feel as though the right shoulder gets on top of the golf ball, and that it feels high and that it's covered.
Really try and feel as if I make a normal backswing. I still get behind the ball, still load the right leg, but I really try and feel like this right shoulder gets on top of that golf ball. It feels high, feels like it's covered. So
I'm really gonna focus on, feeling like, okay, I'm still up here. I don't want to feel like I'm swinging down into it anymore. I want to try to stay balanced and stay high with the shoulder and really try to cover the golf ball, as he says. It'll be an interesting feel. I never really have had to feel that before. Makes sense why you would want to do it. You want to square up the club quicker. I think that's the idea. So I'll give that a go. All right, that kind of felt a little weird. What worked for me, and I didn't have any swing thoughts on the backswing at all. I think high shoulder, like keeping a high shoulder, I think that's just for him, really. That doesn't really work for me, to think high shoulder. I don't know how to get any higher than it already goes. But to cover the ball, what I'm feeling there is really try to close and turn that upper body pretty much as soon as you can on the downswing. It definitely worked. I could see that it was coming out lower. I think what that does is it really closes the club face since you are hitting it so early. All right, next step. Okay, so this is the final piece that he talks about, and he talks about just stopping the swing like as soon as you make contact.
One of the things that depends on how far I want to get down there or how low I want to hit it is how much I'll take out on the follow through. So I'll hit down on it, but I'll stop it quickly here. It's not going to go as far, but it's going to have a low height. It'll be lower than tree height out there. Stays out of the wind, never gets above the tree height. Go a little bit further, it'll be a little bit higher. It'll be right on tree height. So I really try and feel like I cover it, I get on top of it, and then I'll shut it off after that.
Seems like he's just kind of closing the hands off, finishing it, and just, that'll be new, because all of these shots I've been doing a complete finish, and so I'm definitely noticing that they're not going as low as I've seen some of his shot tracers go. So this should be the last ingredient. That definitely felt the weirdest, stopping really early like that. The consistent miss was a big draw, a stinger draw. What also helped was understanding that stopping your hands early like that, it's okay if you finish right there. Those were my best. Those were my lowest, straightest stingers, was when I would finish right there. I would stop my hands early here, but because of all the momentum, that's where they would end up. Know that it's impossible. I mean, Tiger Woods can kind of do it, you know, he's a freak athlete, so yeah, he can stop his hands early right there. You don't need to do that. It's not worth it. It's not necessary, and it's inconsistent to be trying to just, you know, hurt your body. It hurts. My advice, having gone through all these steps, would be take your time and go through the steps in order. It's too much to be trying to just get up to the ball and working on 4 things at one time. Listen to what Tiger says for each step, but then figure out what does that mean for me? What does that feel like for me? For Tiger, it feels like he's stopping his hands at his waist and he can just, you know, that's his feeling. For me, what I felt worked was knowing where I should finish. Not where to stop my hands, but where to finish the entire golf swing. And that was right here. Also, just know that it's gonna take a lot of attempts and getting used to it and getting comfortable, because it's not a normal shot. The entire purpose of it is to keep it low when you're hitting in the wind, if it's a really windy day. So it's not like you're gonna be utilizing this all the time, but it's fun to do, and it's a cool trick. Just take your time with it. But his tips definitely work, and it's coming from the master himself, so I would hope that they work. They worked for me. His wasn't the first stinger video that I've watched. I've watched a couple. A lot of people, they emphasize like leaning, you know, 60% forward, putting the ball way back in the stands. The way that I was hitting them before felt really weird, and it looked really weird standing over it. This, not so much, because it's only a ball and a half off a middle. That's not crazy. Give it a try. Hopefully you can keep it low on a windy day, and send a good stinger video out on Snapchat. See who appreciates it. All right, I'll see y'all next week.